I am Bradley Weir of Awards Radar. Pleasure to meet you,
Hello,
Afton.
to meet you.
Absolutely loved your short 20 something. It was really good. As somebody in my 20s, I felt like it was very relatable. Everything I do, I always feel like I'm still not quite mature enough or whatever. Is that kind of something that you're going to try and continue to do in future work, is to try and make something that's quite relatable?
Well, yeah, for me, art is like this weird kind of therapy where I get a chance to work through my problems in my drawing. So I think just naturally, it's something that is fun because it's something that I'm directly going through, and as it turns out, usually a lot of people are going through it too. So it makes for good entertainment.
Absolutely. And was the kids in the trench coat, is that an idea that you've always had, or was that something quite new?
Not always had, but something that I want to say around 25, 26, I started to like feel weirdly melancholy retrospective of like, am I growing as a person? Am I getting better? Or am I just getting more people in this trench coat? And that was an idea that kept coming up
Mhm.
after birthday and became kind of this fun visual that I was like, I kind of want to pick at that and see what fun I can have making that into a story.
Absolutely. And I was actually quite surprised. So when I watched it for the first time, I didn't kind of realize until the toilet scene, like, oh wow, like this is like a metaphor. Is that when you wrote it, was it with the intention that at the start you really do think it's just three kids that have snuck into a nightclub?
Yeah, so it was a fun experiment because some people were like, you need to tell people up front, they need to know that
Mhm.
it is a person, and otherwise people are going to be confused. And then I was like, I don't know, it's kind of a fun mystery. And there are cues, like if you pay attention, watch a second time, the ID card has 21-year-old Gia, and we pan down,
Mhm.
it's the three of them in there. But I think it's fun to be in her shoes the entire time until she has the confidence of a 21
Absolutely.
year old.
Yeah. Um, Absolutely amazing comedy set pieces. There was one particular when the gentleman taps on their shoulder and it's Baby Gia turns around and just vomits all over. When you were kind of putting thought into those comedic set pieces, was that like particular idea something that you planned from the start of this project, or did it just come to you as you were writing it?
No, it came to me as right I was writing it. It was a bunch of different gags, and that one in particular, I kind of came last minute, and I was like, "This is stupid," and I'm probably gonna cut it. And they kept being like, "No, I have to leave it," and like I had to screen this on Zoom, so I didn't know if it was working, if people reacted
Mhm.
to it, and I would keep messaging my editor like, "I'm gonna cut the puke joke," and they'd be like, "She'd be like, I don't know, leave the puke joke, it works," and I was like, I don't know," and so I eventually kept it in, and I'm so glad
Mhm.
that I did because I
Yeah,
think
I'm
it's
glad you did. That's brilliant.
just a fun crescendo at the end. But yeah, a lot of dumb gags that I'd come up with.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know,
no, it
maybe.
was excellent.
Thank you.
Um, I really enjoyed your presentation earlier, and you spoke about how originally it was going to be an office setting, I believe, or like going into a workplace. What made you change your mind?
Um, it really boiled down to the fact that like I had boarded this long thing where it was like she stays in the office. Office is weird. We have the debriefing in the office, and then she goes to the nightclub for her 21st birthday. And I just kept feeling like this movie doesn't really get interesting until she gets to the nightclub. And I've seen a lot of great animated shorts in office settings, and there's something expected about that, and there's something very new about and more truthful to me. Like even though
Mhm.
I feel like I'm not an adult in a lot of spaces, I am more introverted and I don't love going out with
Mhm.
friends to clubs, and so it's usually in those settings that I have to have these pep talks to myself of like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna go have fun. This is fun. And so when I that's when I came up with that idea of the bathroom scene of her being like, you're gonna have a good time, because I feel like it was more truthful and entertaining
mhm.
to see a total fish out of water in this adult location.
Exactly, and it's incredibly relatable. And also, it's like you don't really get many kind of nightclub scenes in kind of Disney in general, so it was quite a unique setting for that, I guess. And do
Yeah,
you think this will appeal to more kind of people in their 20s rather than like a younger audience?
I hope so. I hope it spans the full gambit. I want parents to be able to show this to their kids. I kept it a very PG club. Nothing happens crazy in there.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's a 20 something feeling. So I hope it does also appeal to that demographic as well.
Mhm. Yeah, it's been hard because I haven't been able to talk to people about it, but I'm so can't wait to just tell all my friends about it because they're gonna really enjoy it. And also, I was kind of curious about obviously you spoke about how you had to do it in 2D instead of 3D for various reasons, but is there certain advantages you found to being able to do it in 2D?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just the freedom of being able to, well, for one, when you do a 2D Spark short, they're like, okay, keep it to 2 characters. So I was like, right off the bat, that's not going to happen. Got like 5 main characters, and they're all in a moving trench coat, which would have been a sim nightmare. And just like, how do we shoot it with a camera, and just being able to be like, we'll draw it and we'll fudge it, and just being able to get some of these silly things, like the moment when all 3 of them are switching heads instead of the coat. That would have taken so much
I can imagine.
energy and effort, whereas I could just kick it off to one amazing 2D animator and be like, draw it and make it fun, and it totally pays off. And even things like at the very end, when the adults are turning into kids at the end, like just being able to kick that off with to an animator instead of having to build multiple rigs is just the freedom.
Yeah. And what was like the first kind of test footage that you got? Like, what was the first kind of completed sequence? And you looked at it and thought, wow, this is really coming along.
Yeah, well, we did our test shot, which is this shot that I showed of her backing up the door. And I think that was the moment where it was like, oh, it's coming together.
It's life.
And we started off, we had to build all of these cycles, these dance cycles, and just populate these dance cycles. So it was a long onetime. It was just Gia walking around an empty background. So I think when we first started doing the compositing of like people in the background, and then it was like, oh, this feels like an actual space, and it's not a weird, one character acting on stage. So that was another fun, exciting moment. We're like, okay, we're making this movie and it doesn't look terrible.
No, it came along really, really well. And can we expect to maybe see the characters of Gia or anyone else in any future projects, possibly?
Well, no promises. Mindy has tried to ask that, but I am slated to be directing in the future. So hopefully.
Oh, that's very exciting.
Yeah.
I'm incredibly excited to see what you do next.
Thank you.
And it's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you.
It was nice talking to you as well.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Bye.